Late on a Sunday. Hopefully y'all had a great weekend. Today we're gonna talk about these alternative credit cards. So these are credit cards that you can get. These are actually secured credit cards that you can get without putting down money, which is crazy. Big Eli, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Thanks for tapping in. These are credit cards that I like to call alternative credit cards. Instead of being able to build credit with just cash, right? There's a lot of folks who are in the process of building credit or they want to build credit, but they're low on cash. So these three cards I came across actually allow you to build comparable credit without giving up your own cash. Now, these are for me brand new. I just came across them last week. So I want to be able to touch on them, tell you guys a little bit about them so that whether you're in rebuilding or if you are a credit specialist or just a credit enthusiast, you are aware of these cards and you can, let people know that they exist, right? So let me start. Sorry, IG can't, you won't be able to see the screen, but you could definitely tap in on YouTube, the Credit Protector, and you can watch the live stream on the Credit Protector. All right. So I'm going to be sharing my screen so I can cover these with you guys live. Like I said, if you're watching on IG, sorry, you won't be able to see the screen share, but definitely you can also tap in with me on YouTube at the Credit Protector, and you'll be able to see everything that I'm talking about with these new credit cards. All right. So let me start sharing the screen right now. Boom. All right. So first up, we got this new credit card called Yendo, Yendo. And it's an interesting card because basically they'll give you a credit card up to $10,000 based on your car. So this happened because the guy used to deal with a lot of, I think he worked at like a title loan spot, and instead he came up with the idea of, instead of just giving people these title loans that are going to keep opening and closing, which damages your score as you keep opening and closing these different installment accounts, he was like, why don't we start a credit card? So he partnered up with MasterCard, and now he issues credit cards from like 500 all the way up to $10,000 based on the type of car you have. Now, of course, they do put a lien on your title. So be aware of this, right? If you're thinking about using some kind of alternative collateral, um, for building credit or getting access to more credit, we want to also be aware of these things, right? So you will have to actually mail in your title to this company. They're going to, and give them, photos of the car and everything. They're going to assess the car, its current value, all that good stuff. And then they're going to issue you a car. I'm sorry, they're going to issue you a credit line all the way up to $10,000. So if you know about comparable credit, this is a great way to get a high revolving account on your credit report without having to kick out $10,000 out of your pocket. If you got a car, you got credit, which is pretty dope, I think. And a revolving line of credit looks a lot better on your credit report than a loan. Plus, title loans, the interest rates are stupid. Like they're like 300% or something like that. This card, they actually have it on here where you can compare it. They actually compare the Yendo card to a title loan to a cash advance, where let's say if you just borrowed $2,000, your monthly payment is $195. We already know title loans, the interest rate is crazy, 300%. Their APR is 29%. 29% is dumbass high. Yes, yes, it is. But for those that are in the market for it, It's still lower than a title loan. It's still lower than a cash advance loan. And since it's a credit card, we know how to avoid interest. We all know how to avoid interest. If you've been following the channel, if you've been watching any reel, we always go over how to avoid interest with credit cards. It's very simple. Pay the card off in full by the due date. You will never pay interest. So this 29%, for those that know, is really inconsequential, right? If you're only using this card to build up your comparable credit profile, you don't need to worry about the credit because you may never even use the card. It's just there to beef up your credit until you can transfer or transition over to unsecured credit like Chase Rise, Capital One Platinum card, or the Platinum One. I'm sorry, not Platinum One, the Capital One Quicksilver card, something like that, right? So I wouldn't stress about the 29%, but it is still better than a title loan. It is definitely still better than a cash advance loan. Okay. So I thought it was pretty dope to be able to get up to $10,000 without having to have access to $10,000. If you got a car, you now have access to a revolving line of credit. This is great for people who are in the rebuilding stages with their credit. I mean, I think it's pretty freaking dope, honestly. This is the first time I've ever heard something like this. This is a MasterCard. This card does not graduate to unsecured. So that's kind of like I was saying with this type of card, this is a stepping stone card. You're going to use it for what it's good for, which is building that comparable credit. You're going to get you're going to transition over to bank issued cards like, maybe a secured Bank of America card or unsecured credit. Once you have 3 to 5 unsecured cards with a $5 to $10,000 limit, then of course you can close the Yendo card, get your title back, and keep living your life. The next joint I want to show y'all is called the Pesto MasterCard. So with the Pesto MasterCard, this joint is super crazy. The Pesto MasterCard basically is like a credit card for pawn shops. So the creator actually used to work at a pawn shop, and he would see repeat customers coming in, getting a loan, right? You turn in your whatever your stuff is, get the pawn shop loan, come back, pay it off, you get your stuff back. He decided to build a rewards credit card off of that premise, which is crazy. Like, it's very creative to me. Let me share my screen. And so this is the Pesto card. You basically send in your stuff just like you would do at a pawn shop. You would send in your stuff, whether it's jewelry, watches, gold, if you got precious metal, gold coins. I mean, they damn near take it all, even diamonds, right? You can send that in, and they'll give you a credit limit up to 25,000. Excuse me, up to $25,000 based on the value of the jewelry and whatever else that you send in. That's crazy. That's crazy. That you can even get a secured card for 25 racks. Like, to me, that's a game changer. There's not too many credit cards that are going all the way up to 25,000, especially a secured card. Like, that's huge if we're talking about building up comparable credit. They see that you get the Yendo, which is 10,000, then you send in some stuff and you get the Pesto, which is 25,000. Now it look like you have access of $35,000 in revolving lines of credit. What? Then once you get your other accounts in position and you go to Bank of America, you go to Chase, you go to your local credit union. They see that you got 10 to 25 on it already. You telling me they not going to give you 10 to 25 or at least a 5 to even $9,000 credit card unsecured? Come on. Like that's crazy when we're talking about building out those credit profiles, right? Other thing is it gives you 1% cash back. That's nothing to be excited about. Yeah, it's 1%. Nobody cares for real. Now here, along with going up to 25,000, they may start you off low. Another thing is that you don't need a social security number to apply for this card. It is I-10 friendly. So if you're brand new to the country, you don't have any credit profile whatsoever, this is a card that you could use. This card also does not check your credit at all to pre-qualify, and there is no minimum credit score required because again, like I said, it is I-10 friendly. Like, so if you brand new to the country, you got something on you and you're trying to build up a credit report, boom, this is the card that you can use. This card does not unsecure, so it will stay a secured credit card, and of course once you're done with it, it will close out. So that's why you want to keep it on your credit report as you're building. Once you're at the point where you no longer need it, you'll get all your stuff back and shut the card down. But this is an amazing card for building, whether you're new to the country or new to credit altogether. If you have things of high value, when you send in your stuff, right? So you pre-qualified, there's no hard pull for that. You do have to send them your items. They're going to send you, or you print out like a shipping label and whatnot, and you'll send it to them via UPS, insured shipping, of course. And then they're going to tell you what what your line of credit is, and then you accept the offer. Once you accept the offer, they'll issue you a virtual card through their app, and then they'll also, mail you a physical card as well. Now, this card does have some additional fees. Now, the thing when we're talking about these alternative type of credit cards, they are comparing them to the traditional loan option. So with the Yendo card, you're comparing that to a traditional title loan or traditional cash advance loan. Compared to those two things, the Yendo card is a better option. Same with Pesto. Comparing the Pesto card to a pawn shop loan, it's a better option because one, it's revolving, so it can help you build your comparable credit. It helps you build up your credit score because uh, pawn shop loans don't report to your credit. I don't. Yeah, they don't. They don't report to your credit. I'm not sure if title loans do or not. I should know that, right? I should, but I don't because I don't deal with title loans. I never got one. I have no idea. Um, Sorry, I should know that. I'm gonna get back to that. Anyway, sidebar. So right, so with Pesto, they're comparing it to getting a pawn shop loan. Pawn shop loans do not build your credit, but the Pesto card does build your credit. And the fact that you can turn in jewelry, precious metal, watches, and turn it into a $25,000 line of credit is pretty amazing. Okay. So with this one, the Pesto card does have an annual fee, but it's broken. The annual fee is broken down into a monthly charge. So the monthly fee is $3.33 every month. That's not bad considering that this is a credit card that can go up to $25,000. If you're building credit, that's pretty dope. The interest rate again is a crazy interest rate. We're talking about 30%, 29%, but it's a entry level secured credit card. All right. Normally, I do not advise anybody to get a credit card with a super high APR, nor do I advise people to get cards with fees. But this is a card that I would say is good because of the high credit limit that you can get with it. And it's a card that you're not keeping forever. Keep in mind, any kind of secured credit building product, you're only keeping it for like 6 to 12 months. You're not keeping this thing for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. There's absolutely no reason to do that, right? So Pesto is super dope. It's a card. It's also a Mastercard. The last card I want to talk about, this card isn't even on the market yet. They still have a wait list. So it's a brand new card. This one is called VIE. So it's the VIE card. This card is the very first I've heard of. This card is going to collateralize your permanent life insurance. So if you got whole life, you got universal with the whole life insurance or permanent life insurance with the cash value, they're actually going to take the cash value of your life insurance and basically collateralize it. They work with the life insurance company on the back end to collateralize it and give you a line of credit based on your life insurance. So obviously this is not a credit builder card because most individuals with a whole life insurance policy have pretty decent credit because you go through a credit check and they also of course do a uh, health diagnosis, right? So for the most part, you're probably going to be in a pretty good space when it comes to your credit. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a entry level credit card, but the fact that you can now turn your whole life insurance into a credit card is super dope, and it can piggyback. Us that are creative without credit, we can piggyback off of this and even maybe combine it with a infinite banking or velocity banking strategy where because usually your infinite banking when you're taking out a loan against your life insurance and you're using an infinite banking strategy that typically does not show on your credit report. So let's say you are somebody with a whole life insurance policy, things happen, you decide you don't even want to deal with credit no more. I've had clients do this where they're just like, I'm not dealing with credit no more. I don't need it. And they just living off cash, cash only, cash collected for 10, 15 years. So their credit report is totally wiped out because they're only using cash. But then when it's time to go refinance a house, go get a car, right? Buying their permanent residence, right? If they want to buy a house and it's time to run their credit, they like, oh shit, I can't get nothing because I don't got no credit. With the card like Vi, once it comes out, if that person has a life insurance policy, they can build up their credit using a card like Vi with cash that's already built up. And the other dope thing they were saying is that you don't lose the value of your insurance when you get this card. Right. So for instance, if you take out with most whole life insurance policies, if you take out a loan against your whole life insurance, if you don't, it's kind of like you have the option to pay it back because what will happen is if you never pay back the loan from your whole life insurance, they are going to deduct that dollar amount from your death benefit. So if you had, $500,000 death benefit and you took out a loan for 100,000 and you never pay it back, when you pass away, your family is only going to get $400,000, right? That's typically how that works. With the Vi card, they're not subtracting it in that way. Okay, it's a whole other process on the back end. That is something that would take. I would highly suggest anybody that's interested in any one of these cards definitely do your own research, visit the websites, shoot out a couple of emails to the companies, ask them more details. about the cards, how they work, do they secure, unsecure, how do credit limit increases work, all of that good stuff, right? Before you pull the trigger. I just wanted to let you guys know about these cards, let you know that there are more and more options becoming available to you as consumers. I mean, these companies are getting hella creative now in the credit space during a recession. While banks are tightening up, other banks are expanding. Even with like the Pesto card that goes up to 25,000, that is actually underwritten by Continental Bank. So if you're already familiar with their underwriting, their rules, then you already know what type of time the Pesto card is going to be on. All right, so I wanted to share this with y'all. Hopefully, you found some value in it. Definitely, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, a comment. What are your thoughts about the card? If you're watching this on Facebook, please do the same. Let's interact. Let me get some feedback from you. Um, don't forget, November 17th at 7 p.m., I will be hosting a free credit repair training. This is for my business owners. If you have late payments, charge offs, something on your personal credit that's keeping you from getting access to bank funding for your business, you absolutely want to be on this call so that you can get in position to be able to PG those business credit cards, those business lines of credit, and even those business loans as a brand new startup. All right. Startups, if you're a brand new startup, you need your personal credit in order so that you can quickly access capital to grow your business. Okay. So definitely want to tap in. If you aren't a business owner, you still trying to figure out what the hell to do so you can get in position so you can be right in 2024. This is the class that you want to be in. If you are a DIYer, this is the class you want to be in. All right. If you know people who got crazy credit, right? There's things on their credit report. Listen, you could be the person to learn how to do it to help them and then charge them a little something. Or tell them to hop on the class. Send them the information, right? Either send them the link or tell them to text 700 to 240-66-77460 so they get their shit together. Like, there's too much free usable information out here for people to be stuck in the same place. Everybody's worried about being scammed, but at the same time, everybody's looking for a shortcut. You end up getting scammed because you're trying to take a shortcut. There, some things that just aren't any shortcuts in life. Sometimes you have to take the time to learn the process so you can get your shit in order, right? Once we start trying to look for these shortcuts and, oh, I'm just going to throw money at the problem, that's how scams happen, right? This is a free credit repair training. If you want to learn how to improve your credit yourself, this is the training you want to get into. It's November 17th at 7 p.m., right? All you got to do, if you're watching me on IG, all you got to do is just DM me the number 700 and you'll get the registration link. If you're watching me on YouTube, if you're watching me on Facebook, you can just hit the link that's in the description, or anybody, regardless of the platform, can text the number 700 to 240-66-77460. It's time to get in position, y'all. Don't let bad personal credit keep you stuck. Don't let it keep you from growing your business. Don't let it keep you from getting access to 50,000, 150,000, $300,000. Like a 700 credit score with a properly structured business can easily net you $300,000 in business funding. You don't want to miss out on $300,000 because of blemishes on your credit report. and you don't want to keep waiting around thinking that one day you'll get to it, because that day will never come. We're always going to be busy. The timing will never be right. So why not learn how to put yourself in the perfect position while things aren't perfect? Because when things become perfect, you're going to be able to turn your situation around that much faster. Right? So don't wait, don't hesitate. November 17th, 7 p.m., free credit repair training. You are going to learn how to get rid of those, what to do if you have high utilization. We're going to talk about it. What to do if you have late payments. We're going to talk about it. What to do if you got a bunch of inquiries, because maybe you went for a funding round, now you got a bunch of inquiries, you don't know what to do. We're going to talk about it. Charge offs, we're going to talk about it, right? We're going to talk about all this on Friday, and it's for the free. Okay, when you're going through, I'm also going to have some couple of little extra things in there. You know, there is a bundle that's available. It's going to be a special bundle. It's $17 for 3 ebooks that you're going to have access to. This particular special is only done and available for those that register. So if you want to know, if you want a manual on how to improve your own credit, it's in there. Building your business credit is in there. How to fund yourself the first $150,000 so you don't have to pay somebody like me a 10% commission. You can save yourself 10%. You can save yourself $15,000 by paying 17,000. Easy trade-off, right? All of that is available to y'all when you're going through and registering for the free class. So definitely make sure you do that. Like I said, if you're watching me on Instagram, just DM me the number 700. It'll be sent to you, or click the link in the descriptions if you're watching this on Facebook and YouTube. Meantime, in between time, thanks for everybody that's tapping in. What's going on, y'all? I will talk to y'all later, and I'll see you on the 17th. Peace.